Hi everyone, this is Katie Groves here, and I first want to apologize for any background noise. I'm unable to record in my bathroom right now, so you may hear some noise from outside, and you also may hear the sound of my boyfriend hitting video game controls as he is over there playing a game. So I apologize if that triggers anyone or is disturbing. But I wanted to make this video because someone recently asked me on this channel to essentially explain how MK Ultra works. They said that they have been looking for information, trying to understand, but were unable to kind of put it all together, and they had a bunch of different questions about it, but basically wanted me to make a video where I really lay it out and explain what this all is. This is not something that I have so far been able to do. It is not something that I set out on this channel to do. When I created this channel, the intention was to speak solely to survivors. However, when my channel started getting a little bit more attention, people outside of the survivor community started reaching out to me wanting to learn more. And I very quickly realized that I very much wanted to help them to learn more, and I want to help people outside the survivor community understand this stuff better and understand how to help people who are going through and have been through what I have been through. So the reason that you will see most of my videos presume knowledge of mind control and not really explain the terminology in ways that someone new to the subject will understand is because my videos are not mostly for people outside of the survivor community. But you will see that in the last couple of months, I have made a lot more videos that are more geared towards the general public, and you will probably notice that those videos still do presume some understanding. I really do want to apologize to people who are new to this stuff, who feel alienated in any way by my presumption of understanding when I make these videos. I promise that that is not my intention. However, it has always been my perspective that there is already a volume of information online and in books that can explain the basic mechanics of how this stuff works, and that my purpose is to bring something new. But I want to say that I have, since I've been asked this, I have really thought deeply about just how hard it is to actually find good information about MK Ultra. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation out there, and sifting through it when you do not have background knowledge of any of this stuff can be extremely challenging, I'm sure. And I wouldn't actually know because I've always had understanding of my own situation. I really am sorry for the sound of the train. That is really loud. I am sorry. So, the last week or so I've been thinking this over, and I've decided that I do have a responsibility to try and outline this stuff for people who are new to the subject. Because, like I said, there is so much disinformation out there. Telling people to just go onto the internet and try and sift through it for themselves for something like this isn't actually necessarily the best suggestion. So what I am going to do is I am going to make a series of videos that are specifically for people who are new to the subject. And I know that I have already started a series that I've barely made headway with called MK Survivor FAQ, in which I answer frequently asked questions I've received on this channel. But those videos still presume some understanding, in fact, quite a lot of understanding of my situation. So I really want to specifically make videos for those who really truly don't know anything about this, or who are really struggling to gain a basic understanding of this stuff. And I also want to be clear that when I do this, I hope that I never come off as condescending in any way. I do not think that it is usually because of a lack of intelligence that people struggle to understand this stuff. I think it really is because there is so little available, good information out there, and because the people who abused me and programmed me have tremendous stake in doing the same things on what may seem like more minor levels to everybody else. So I was put through the worst of the MK Ultra program, but MK Ultra tactics are used in mainstream media and used in public schools. Members of the organization that I grew up in plant themselves all over the mainstream world in order to control it. They distribute drugs in order to control it. They run mainstream media outlets in order to control it. They write school textbooks in order to control it. They become doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists and lawyers and professors and all sorts of things, writers, to try and control it. So anybody who has grown up in this world, specifically the Western world, has been subjected to this kind of conditioning, I am sure. And so to those who want to start learning about MK Ultra for the first time, you probably have learned quite a lot about it, subliminally. And what you've learned has been a lot of bullshit. And what you've learned has been designed to get you to not think about it. And so you may run into the same general sorts of triggers that MK survivors do when they start exploring their own pasts, when you start exploring what we've been through, because you probably also have dissociative blocks and traumatic blocks around learning about this stuff too, around what you yourself have been subjected to. And they really, don't mean to tell anyone what they have personally experienced. I know how invasive that can feel, but I'm just speaking really generally here. I know a lot about what the elite has done to try and control people. I know a lot about what's in television and in school books. And so all of this stuff I feel safe to generalize about. But again, I don't want to make anyone feel invaded upon. These are things that if they are true for you, you would have to investigate for yourself to realize that they are true for yourself if you have not already. Okay, so that all being said, the place that I'm going to start is not going to be with an outline of MK Ultra. It is going to be with an outline of subjects that I think would be useful to do preliminary research about first. These are things specifically pertaining to psychology. I recommend that people first, before even researching MK Ultra, have a basic understanding of narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic abuse, antisocial personality disorder, and malignant narcissism in order to better understand the perpetrators. I also recommend that people research dissociative identity disorder, polyfragmented dissociative identity disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and specifically try to understand the difference between simple and complex PTSD. I then recommend that people do some research into some basic principles of psychology around conditioning and attachment theory. And I'm going to take some time to compile a list of sources that I think may be good places for people to start with these subjects, as I've done a lot of research on this stuff on my own since I deprogrammed, in addition to just having some understanding of this stuff from my childhood. But for the most part, those are things that people are probably going to have to research on their own. There is disinformation for all of that stuff out there, do not get me wrong, but I do not think it is quite as dangerous to research as MK Ultra if you are trying to avoid being manipulated. Okay, so that is what I'm going to start with in a video. I'm going to make another video where I talk more about all those things in depth and how they relate to MK Ultra, and I'm going to take it from there.